Hello everybody, this is Reem and I'm about to explain the program that I wrote for our second assignment in MATLAB programming, as far as I remember. I'll start by telling you what my question was. It's basically a game. You'd have a specific number in your head, and then the computer would ask you what is the number of digits in that number, and you'd tell it, and then it will start guessing numbers. Of course, they have to be with the same number of digits that you specified before. And then you would tell it whether the answer was correct, which will make the program stop, or if the right answer is actually higher, so it will guess another answer, or if it's lower, and will also guess another answer, until it reaches the answer that you have in your head, and then the program would stop working. What I wanted to say is that the trick in this program is minimizing the range of correct answers until it reaches the answer that you have in your head. So how I wrote the program was basically like this. You start with CLC and clear, just like we do for all MATLAB programs. Then there's this variable called digit. Of course, this is the value that you will enter when it asks you what is the number of digits in your number. Then I use nested loops. You can see here a for loop and the while loop here. The for loop here has this variable called n. It starts from 1, it increases by 1 each time until it reaches 10. The purpose of this variable is that it's going to be equal to the number of digits that you have chose before. So you can say that it only allows a number of digits up to 10. And of course you wouldn't have a number in your head that is more than 10 digits, because the game is going to take longer, and we'll talk about that later. There's a condition here: if digit is equal to n, which means that it will keep looping until it reaches the value of n that is equal to the value of digit that you have entered, and then the program will start working. Of course, also if flag is equal to 0, and I use flag here because we'll see later that when it reaches the right answer, flag is going to turn into 1, so that this part wouldn't work again. We don't want this part to be executed if a flag is equal to 1. Okay, so this is the condition. Now you'll have two variables, a and 9s, and those basically are the limits of any range of values that have the same number of digits. Okay. What does that mean? If I said that the number of digits that I have in mind is 2, okay, as the number I have, for example, is 55. So then the computer would think about the range of numbers that have 2 digits. A is the first limit. The lowest number possible that will have 2 digits is 10 to the power n minus 1. So 10 to the power 2 minus 1, which is 10. And that's correct because 9 is only 1 digit. So it starts from 10 up to 9. 9 is 10 to the power n minus 1. So 10 to the power 2 is 100, minus 1 is 99. And that's the maximum value that has 2 digits, which is 99, because 100 has 3 digits, right? So that's basically what those two variables are. And then it will give you an answer. For this answer here, and the answers that it will give later on, I use this equation that we learned before, because I have a range of values here from A to 9, so 9 minus a, multiplied by this function. I use this function that will give you a random number between a and 9s. Of course, here this is the number of rows and numbers of columns, so I'm only looking for one value, so one row, one column. And I use this function here, which is round, because we're only looking for integer values. So this is basically the first answer the computer will give you: a random number between 8 and 9, a random integer number. And then it will make flag equal to 0 again. While flag is equal to 0, it will do this loop. So now we understood the first loop. This loop that changes quickly, let's say, it will give you this question. Respond, this variable, is enter 1 if the right answer is higher, 0 if it's lower, and 999 if it's right. So if the response was 0, which means the right value is lower, you're gonna have to change the answer so it will be in a range of from A okay, but not up to 9, because it's lower. So the previous answer minus 1, because it's not answer, the answer is correct, and it's not more than answer, so it starts from answer minus 1 up to the minimum value, which is 8, and it will also give you a random number. And of course the flag here should be 0, because we wanted to the loop to happen again, because we want to ask again if it's right or not. Then if response was 1, which means that it was higher, the right answer is higher than the value it gave you, so then the new answer would be in the range of answer plus 1, because answer is wrong and less than answer is wrong, so answer plus 1 up to 9, and then it will give you a random number in there, and flag is equal to 0, so it will ask again. If you responded by 999, it will display yay, I found the right answer, and then flag will turn to 1, so this loop will stop, and also this part here will stop. So it won't give other answers, it won't ask you again, it will just stop working. So that's basically it. Now the trick here that I wanted to tell you about, the one last remark, is that you don't want the program to repeat the same or to repeat the same ranges of the right answers. What I'm trying to say is, for example, if you have the number 5 in your mind, and then it will give you, for example, 4 as the first answer, you tell it that it's higher than 4, so it will give you 9. So you're gonna tell it again, no, it's lower. You don't want it to go lower than 4, because you already said that it's higher than 4. And for that to happen, I added those two lines. So if you respond by 1 at the beginning, you respond by 1, okay, because it gave you 4 and you said no, it's higher. So it will change the value of a here to it will be equal to answer, which is 4, plus 1, which is 5, right? And then it will give you a random answer. Let's say it's 9. So then when you say it's lower, right here, answer minus 1, which is 8, up to 8, and a changed here to 5. So it will not start from a, for example, is 1. No, it will start from 5. And the same thing here. 9s will change to answer minus 1, because when you're gonna, if you said that's higher after you said it was lower, 9s is not going to be 9s anymore. It's going to be the previous answer minus 1. I don't know if that was clear enough, but the point from this step was to let's say minimize the range of correct answers as much as possible. And then the last thing to say, or the last remark I wanted to say, is that if you have a number in your head that have a high number, or that has a high number of digits, then the program is probably going to run even longer, because the number, for example, the number of values that have digit 1 is up from 0 to 9, sorry, which is 10 values, right? So it's 10 to the power digit, or 10 to the power n. Also, if you're talking 2 digits, it's going to start from 10 up to 99, which is 100 value. So the range of values that could be correct for each number of digits is actually 10 to the power n. So once you tell it the number of digits, the program would have 10 to the power n values that are possibly correct, and it will start guessing from those values. So the less number of digits you have, the less possibility of having wrong answers. So that was basically the program. I tried as much as possible to explain it. I hope you guys understood what I was trying to say, and it's right in front of your eyes for you to analyze and try to understand what I wanted, or what my purpose was from each line that I wrote. And I hope you liked my presentation. I know it was long, and give me